20 years ago, I came here to present another paper. And the time was gone, and so now we get aged, we get old. But I'm so happy to have this opportunity. Because, let's say, before coming here, I should go to Jerusalem to attend a conference in the public choice, European Public Choice Society. But my colleague said, okay, Professor, you don't need to go to Jerusalem because it's very difficult to get in the city. And then I said, okay, you can go there. I will change my mind. And so I come here to spend the whole week in Madrid. And I'll meet old friends and also new friends and my colleague as well. And then so now we have this opportunity. And so this book is just published 2 weeks ago, not quite brand new. Then so please, if you are interested, please order to the Springer e-book. And because the e-book is slightly cheaper than the actual one, that one. And then so just this book almost mentioned about local public economics. And especially the title is Advance in Local Public Economics. Then so this book contains the whole of the recent development of the public economics, not only the public economics, but local public economics, also international economics as well. Then so the first chapter of this book, I wrote the comprehensive situation of local fiscal federalism. And so just today, I would like to introduce such a how we think about local public economics or fiscal federalism recently. And so, but most of the people doesn't have knowledge about Japanese local public economics or fiscal federalism. And so Koda Suahara just introduced some basic information about the Japanese local system. And after that, I moved to the main theme of the consolidation, competition, and coordination program. Okay. Koda, could you make some brief summary of the Japanese system, please?
My name is Kota Suahara. I appreciate the professors Sans and Andre for giving the opportunity to talk about our research. As Professor Kunizaki said, this is the title of his chapter, and his discussion focus on 3 themes: fiscal competition and municipality consolidation and regional coordination. And these topics are inspired by fiscal decentralization in Japan. So we will talk about shortly then. I will talk about 2 themes: basic indicators and decentralization reform in Japan. There is basic indicators, Japan and Spain. Japan has 3 times of inhabitants of Spain, so very out of person in Japan, but very small country, so this is very different from Spain. And please notice the place. In Japan, a lot of people concentrate in urban area, comparing with Spain. So in Japan, regional disparity of economic activity or society problem is very important on the topics of local public finance. And we have 2 tiers of subnational government. Spain is 3, but we have 2 tiers. And 27 prefectures and out of municipality has a little autonomy of expenditure and tax. I little bit learned about Spanish subnational government. Autonomous community have a very large power of other kind of expenditure, but Japanese prefecture is not so much. So Japan is not so decentralized comparing with Spain. And but on average, municipal size is larger than Spain's, and this is nearly equal to the size of Tosu City, where President Torres lives in. And monetary size of subnational government, totally says Japanese subnational government is smaller than those of Spain. And this is a second theme. Japanese decentralization reform in Japan was started in later of 90s. And this is a reason of why. This is a change in the economic growth rate in Japan. In 50 or 60 years ago, we have a very high average of economic growth, such like recent of China, and we faced two big recessions, and now we are in a society of low level economic growth and developed society. In this era, in Japan, economic recovery and economic growth are national objectives. So, in this era, centralized government system is very efficient to achieve the objective. But now, we cannot expect the high economic growth, so there are a lot of various problems. For example, aging and declining people in rural area. On the other hand, low birth rate, climate, environment problem in urban area. So we have a very various problems. So centralized government system is not appropriate to overcome these problems. So we have to decentralize the government system. So reform is started from the late of the 90s. Then we have two phases of decentralization reform. One is discretion on expenditure, and the second is revenue autonomy. This reform, the symbol is this reform is abolition of the deregulated function system. This is a very centralized system. So, governor of prefectures and mayor of municipalities are elected by residents in the jurisdiction. However, they have to work as a local branch or a local agency of the central government. So the administration works of them almost of their works. Almost of their works are deregulated function. So this is very centralized system. Sorry. This is abolition of this system is the first phase of decentralization reform. And the second is revenue autonomy. So before this reform, local government, on average, local government have 35% of revenue as local taxes, and other revenue is grants from the central government. But after the reform, local tax revenue is increased. So subnational governments have a little bit revenue autonomies. Then municipal consolidation. Actually, local government, especially municipality, have discretion of expenditure and autonomy of tax revenue. But to control this autonomy, they are too small. So we have to consolidate small municipalities. Before consolidation, we have about 3,200 municipalities, like that. And there are many small municipalities, for example, under 30,000 inhabitants. And after consolidation, these small municipalities are merged, and we have the big municipalities increased. Now we have 1,700 municipalities. But now there are small municipalities are left from consolidation. So we have to promote regional coordination measures. This is an example of regional coordination measures, but this measure is an ongoing program. So I don't know result is good or about. So this is basic information of decentralization reform in Japan. Thank you very much.
So could you show the page 10?
10.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much. And briefly, and Kota explained the Japanese, how the Japanese local system has been changed. Most important is that, and the 2004 and 2005, most of the small township merge each other, or big city sack the small town, because the central government promote to such kind of merging small town or merging municipalities. Then so it's so-called a big reform of the component of the local system. And now we already spend more than 10 years after big reform of such kind of merging municipalities. Then, so, but my question is quite simple. If the central government didn't give any information, any grants or any transfer or any intervention to such kind of merging, and whether each municipality did merger voluntarily or not. That's my question, simple question. And so the many Japanese people, and also the recently European countries, especially the northern part of the Europe, it's like Finland or Sweden or Norway. That's such kind of Scandinavian country are now on the way to such kind of big merging period. For example, not this year, last year, 2018, I went to Tampere in Finland to present my paper. because there is a public finance conference. And this, before the conference, there was a big workshop in Helsinki to discuss about such kind of the merger of the municipality. And the Finnish people are so keen how the Japanese government promote such kind of merger. Then the reason is quite simple, and the central government put some money to the local municipality to get the merger. It's kind of the incentive to merger. But most important thing is if the central government faces a kind of the budget constraint, they don't have much money to spend the money to the transfer to the local sector, whether there's such kind of merger is occurred or not. The Finnish people are so important or curious about how they promote such kind of merger in the Finnish local system. Maybe the Swedish already had such kind of similar experience just 10 years ago. And now, gradually, such kind of the reform has go down to south. Maybe in the near future, in your country, we'll make such kind of experience to which merger. That's the main my question. And so, okay, my most important thing is not such kind of the empirical thing, but the most important is theoretical work. And so I just want to reinterpret the behavior of local sector or central government behavior to during such kind of marginal period. And so one is the interpretation of the empirical analysis for the not the normal way, just political economics way. Because recently the political economics becomes also developed. Then so they have lots of empirical support, and also there are many intuition now interpretation of the public economics. Then I just use such kind of the political economics material to this topic. The second is with public economics things, and there are many type of the relation. One is the vertical relation between central and local. That is so-called the vertical relation. But also the horizontal. There is some horizontal relation. For example, in the Madrid and Barcelona, or the small town like one pueblo and B pueblo. Pueblo means village. A village, yes. Is this right? Pueblo. Yes. A pueblo and B pueblo. That two pueblo attached to some border. Okay, this is a vertical relation. For example, A pueblo's people goes to the shopping to the B pueblo's supermarket, and or to using gymnastics. And also the B residents of B village people use library. Not the biblioteca of the eighth pueblo. That is a horizontal relationship. We so-called kind of the externality of public goods. Anyway, that's the horizontal. That's we think about the vertical relation and horizontal relation. How such kind of relation affect the marginal behavior or reaction each other. That's the second. The third is the class and the multiple importances. Sometimes the local center or central government also worry about the general election. Maybe coming months you will have a general election, and there are any politician worried about how many ballots do I get, and also how much the probability to be elected the Senate. And the people are so worried about the getting a voting. And it's so-called an opportunist. It's called a kind of opportunistic behavior of the local sector or central government as well. That's how such kind of opportunistic behavior react via such kind of horizontal and vertical relations. That's the third question. The fourth is the bit summary of the 1, 2, 3. The most important is how the politician makes opportunist behavior and how such kind of opportunist behavior affects the marginal events. And that's the whole of my question. And then so my book, the first chapter of my book, mentioned about the whole of the section of the political economics meaning to the local sectors relationship. Okay, and just the starting point is quite simple. Usually, the economists love to use a kind of optimality or efficient situation. And I just defined what is the most ideal decentralized system. It's quite simple. There are many local municipalities, and so each municipality related to each other. And also sometimes there are some conflict between the municipalities. And also they want to help each other. But most important thing is that, and so one municipality doesn't care about it. If the one municipality doesn't care about the other one, okay, other one also doesn't care about the other one. And so nobody gets improving. And so, but most ideal things is that everybody knows about such kind of own interest and also relationship with each other. Then so let's go together and discuss how many money you spend, how many books you prepare in the biblioteca, and how much big swimming pool you make. And so we can discuss and to make some public goods. It's so-called it's a kind of application cost settlement. Okay, there is no externality. Just you can negotiate with each other. Then so all of the externality becomes internalized. Then it becomes Pareto optimality. Must be ensured. But I must say, Pareto is not the Pareto. Okay? And Pareto is the name of the Italian name. And Pareto is the most important economist, but not the Spanish one. Spanish one, Pareto? Pareto. Yes, it's a Pareto. A bit different. And the Ima and Rubinfeld defined such kind of situation as an ideal decentralized system. That is the starting point. And nobody believes such kind of idea becomes not true. Nobody believes that kind of idea. Because it's quite difficult. Because one person wants to make a free riding, another one wouldn't spend money. Then so such an ideal situation doesn't come. Okay, next one please. And also if people wouldn't believe each other, there is no good situation, which means it is quite difficult to ensure the Pareto optimality. And that is one thing. Let me ask postulate. This is a very important contract theory. And they provide that if negotiation cost each other is quite high, and the people wouldn't make negotiation and also to make agreement, and so they don't want to make a coordinative situation. And also, even though the negotiation cost is so small, but there is asymmetric information between each other, between municipalities. There is no coordination because of cooperative situation. And so that each municipality becomes a much more non-cooperative situation. This is so-called the impossibility theorem of Pareto optimality. This is most important person, Meyerson. Meyerson is very, very important, very, very famous. Maybe he could get the Nobel Prize in the near future, but they suggest that such a asymmetric information situation, there is no cooperative situation. Then so, okay, if it is true, and each municipality or local sector try to make a free riding or to getting own money or to getting benefit non-cooperatively, Then so it's called the fiscal competition. Okay, next. The fiscal competition, and also the fiscal competition is quite famous or familiar topics in the local public economics. And I must say, 1983, and Zodro and Miskovsky wrote the very important research papers, which means that if each municipality put their tax rate non-cooperative, it becomes a Pareto efficient situation. But another perspective of fiscal competition is just opposite. Fiscal competition goes to the much more efficient situation. This is so-called Leviathan hypothesis. And Brenner and Buchanan pointed out that, and if there is no fiscal competition, then each local sector try to become the Leviathan behavior, such as they want to maximize their revenue and spending wasting money. And so it's not efficient situation. But if there is fiscal competition, there's such a Leviathan hypothesis, and Leviathan behavior must be pressured or reduced. This is an important message from Brenner and Buchanan. It's so-called Leviathan hypothesis, Leviathan hypothesis. And there's some people try to, this is Leviathan hypothesis means fiscal competition is not inefficient, but efficient by the fiscal competition to reducing the Leviathan behavior. Then so I must say, first, fiscal competition, one point. Fiscal competition causes the inefficient. But Leviathan people say, or political economics people say, fiscal competition brings efficient situation. There are two just opposite hypotheses. So I don't know which one is true. But some people try that, like Oates, very famous paper. Oates tried to do such kind of check of the Leviathan hypothesis. Unfortunately, not support. Leviathan hypothesis doesn't support. Unfortunately, but also the other people try to do such a Leviathan, especially the European data. And these papers used to Scandinavian countries, Switzerland, and Germany, or so on. And so most of the European countries data supported the Leviathan hypothesis. Partly that. Then so in general, it is quite difficult to say the Leviathan hypothesis is valid. Still, open question. But why so the Leviathan hypothesis doesn't work? There are several reasons. Because most of the local sector doesn't impose a high rate of tax rate, because most of the municipality depends on the transfer from central government. And their own tax revenue is very small. But even though they try to put a higher tax rate, it is a very small power to make such kind of competition. And also the second is the same thing. And then so fiscal competition will be limited, and the sufficient competitive pressure cannot be expected. The scope of competition is very small. That's how even though there is a small competition, it doesn't affect such kind of the efficiency situation. Doesn't bring any efficiency situation. And the third is much more important than that. Okay. The transfer or grants from central government, usually I think for the local people, I think it is a kind of the windfall effect. Windfall is like mana. So it looks like the mana, but not mana. Actually, not mana, because as I mentioned, that the local people push the politician to getting a transfer from the central to their own local government. And so if it is true, the local sector, look, no, minor. Okay, so, and if the local government can be changed to such kind of transfer, and easily, even though there is a competition, okay, I don't like the competition. So I say, if you are a politician, I don't know which party, but you are a government, you are a member of the cabinet, okay, and also you live in my place. I just ask you, okay, I want the money to make a swimming pool. Please negotiate with central government or the Ministry of Finance. That's how you can talk to the Ministry of Finance to get your money to my place. And instead of that, you can be elected, maybe coming April. Yes, it is kind of negotiation and local sector. I am a local sector. Okay, I can change my transfer by myself through the lobbying activity. That is the sad reason I don't like the competition each other, but I can approach to the central government, then getting the money from the central government. And so even though there is a competition, I can easily introduce the money from the central government by ballot. That's the point. Then so there are two types of such kind of the vertical inducing of the transfer. One is soft budget constraint program. And the soft budget is very funny thing that this is opposite what is hard budget. But usually, okay, many municipalities face the bankruptcy. There are some risk of the bankruptcy among the local sector. There's a central government who wants to avoid such kind of bankruptcy. And so central government gives them money for the bailout, okay, like a bailout. Then so soft budget is just the same as bailout activity, okay. Then so but most important is soft budget is just moral hazard problem. Because for example, one municipality spend a lot and getting a lot of the deficit, but they don't have much money to refunding. So there must be bankrupt. But this is moral hazard, typical moral hazard problem. But central government cannot be bankrupt in such a local system. Then so the central government have to pay money to the local sector. And this is an unexpected transfer from central to local. And this is again the agency cost. Such kind of transfer is just seems as an agency cost of the moral hazard by the local sector. This is the first one. Second is a common pool. This is much more important. Okay. I don't want to make such kind of bankruptcy, but I can easily approach the money through the lobbying. Then so, okay, I push some local sector, push the politician to make a common pool or common resource to establish such kind of resources by the lobbying. And then so local sector can easily reach to such kind of money. Then so this is not unexpected, just expected or intentional activity. Then so there are two vertical transfer programs, but one is intensive, but second is an intensive one, the intentional one. And so how you identify non-intentional or intentional? Such kind of transfer is intentional or not? That's another question. There's most country, most of the local sector doesn't have the power to make a lobbying. Okay, such a transfer must be not intentional. But each local sector approach to the politician or government, they can make such kind of common pool and to get the money. This is so-called intentional transfer. So we need the identification whether the vertical transfer is intentional or not. That's a big problem. But first one is not the political thing, but second one is a quite political economic sense. Then so we need more explanation if second one is true. Okay, and before that, why we try to do such kind of vertical relation or political thing? And there is a good example to identify the local sector behavior in a Japanese situation. The Kota explained that before 2004, Japanese local system was very, very huge number of Japanese number of local sector is quite high. More than 3,000 municipalities operated. But after 2004 or 2005, now it's only 1,800 municipalities exist. So why such kind of the marginal began? Well, because the central government introduced or give an incentive to marginal or to make a vertical transfer. Is it voluntary or just inducing by central government? And if such kind of the marginal is induced by central government, how the transfer is made? Or soft budget type or political economic type or common type? We need to identify the two types of the hypothesis. That's what I tried to ask. Before that, why the municipality must be merged? There are several reasons. Because most of the municipality face scale economy. Because the marginal average cost becomes lower to lower when the production level becomes higher and higher. This is called scale economy. Then so the margin becomes looks like becomes a scale economy. That's the first reason why the merger want to merge. The local sector want to make a merger. That is one thing. The second one is production efficiency, improving the production efficiency. Because okay, you and me get merger. You have an advantage to make a food saving. I can give a much more low cost of the library. I don't need to any cynical. So I can reduce the cost. But you also can reduce the cost of the library because you just use my library. That's totally. And the margarine costs the production expense, improve the production expense. Then so the margarine also will cause such kind of production efficiency. But unfortunately, and in the actual world, and the local sector is just a mixture of the scale economy and the diseconomy. So it's quite difficult to identify exactly the scale economy goes to the marginal or not. Then second, the marginal size distribution is not uniform. For example, just the same, not just the same. For example, in Madrid, more than 3 million people live in Madrid. But just outskirts of Madrid, the people live in maybe 10,000 or 1,000 villages. So there are many differences. Between the municipalities. It's quite difficult to identify such kind of scale economy. The third one is the production. This one. So, and because before and after the merger, and the production system doesn't change because it's quite difficult to quit or firing public officers after merger. And they still have to employ previous local officers. And so the total production cost becomes just same as before, even though after the merger. But this is not including production of things. For example, Kota town hired 100 employees, public employee. I hired 1,000 employees. And to get the margin, we get 100,000, 1,100 people. Usually, we don't need such kind of people. But in the law, it is prohibited to firing the public employee. Then so we have to hire 1,100 people. And this is just unchanged production. But in a long-run sense, we can reduce the public employee. But at the moment, it's quite difficult to change such kind of production cost. Okay, that is the third one. The fourth one is most important, transfer to the center. Okay, if you get the margin, I give you money. If I am a prime minister, okay. Yeah, if you want to make a margin, I give you money. Which do you like? Or you still keep a higher cost, or you would have much more money? Which would you like? Then some people want to get the money. Then someone get the margin. But in that time, local sector doesn't expect any more future. Just now. What do I mean? I want to have money. Just money now. Not in the future. Then so even though after the margining, the cost becomes much higher, but the central government compensates such a cost by the transfer. And there is no becoming much more improving efficiency. That's the fourth reason. And another one is there are another basic, the next one please. And the most important is in that. And why? But why the Japanese local municipalities getting such margin? Several of my colleagues tried to the incentive to the margin. And the conclusion is quite simple. They want to get the vertical transfer by margin, not to be improving the efficiency of the horizontal level. Just they want to get the money. Okay, how get to the money? Next one, please. How get to the money? Also, and the European people are very keen to think about the horizontal relation. Okay, small town people think that, okay, I want to be larger by Madrid because Madrid is very big and it's very rich. Most of the public goods must be produced by the Madrid, not my town. It's sort of free line behavior. Okay? Or if my town is larger by the Madrid, maybe the metro line will come. That is a free lining behavior. Free lining behavior. But that is the incentive to get the margin. But it is not just for the small town. For the point of view of big town or metropolitan town, city, I wouldn't like such a thing. I wouldn't get the manager because this must be costly. I don't need to more cost because my town or my city already spend a lot of money, so we don't have much such kind of money to the other people. They must reject. But even though it is so, that the village is so small and also negligibly small. The Mandarin people doesn't feel that it is costly. The Mandarin people didn't expect that it is not cost because it's very small town, more or less nothing. And so small town can be merged to big cities. That is the first high-risk one. But the Japanese experience is quite different. Most important is not the horizontal relation. Most important is the vertical relation from getting the money from the city, central governments. Yeah. Then so this is a municipality bond. The Japanese government adopted some special treatment of municipality bond. for the margarine. If you will get the margarine, I give you the money to refund to pay to finance your boat. And so municipality want to get such money. Then I want to get. And for example, I want to make a new bridge, but I have to issue a new bond. But if I merge the next town or next city, so such kind of bond can be compensated by the central government. And also we get the new bridge, which do you like? Of course, you want to get to the money to make a bridge. So that is a Japanese incentive to margarine. That's not the horizontal incentive. That's vertical incentive. Okay. Then so many people try to the incentive empirical. And this is a kind of the step work of the how identify such kind of incentive to margarine. And this is not the actual empirical work. I just propose how to identify that incentive or margarine. Okay, next one please. And the second one is also said, and if you are interested about the step of the empirical analysis, you can check this chapter of my book. Okay. 110 euro now. Okay, next one please. And also, okay, there are another style of the cooperation and cooperative situation. It's so-called the regional coordination. It is margining is one of the coordination style. But another style is just negotiate each other and to provide jointly the public goods. It is so-called regional coordination. Kota Sugawara is one of the most important persons to analyzing such kind of situation. Next one, please. And then so, next one, please. Oh, this one, yes. And the Kota Sugawara, I know the Spanish people are so difficult to pronounce the H. Not the Sugawara, Sugawara. Okay, his name is Suahara. Anyway, he's trying to do such kind of regional coordination of joint production of the public goods, local public goods. And finally, he tried to do several things. It's so-called a settlement autonomous area, or kind of the cooperative area of among several cities, or several townships, or several municipalities. It's so-called settlement autonomous area. I don't like this name, but Japanese government puts this kind of name. Anyway, most important is that one of the horizontal regional collaboration, it is aimed to guarantee the substance level public service supply in the period of declining population. That's the point. For example, Japan, we suffer the lack of people. Now, we have 120 million people living in Japan. But near future, 1/3 of the population will disappear. Because in 2040, our population will become 80 million people. Then so 1/3 of the population will disappear. Then so most of the local village or township must be destroyed. But even though this is destroyed, people still live. A few people still live. So how we can help such kind of rural people? And so the government tried to make such kind of settlement autonomous area. That's most of the big town help the small village to coordinate or jointly provide the local public services. But in that side, local sector in this area negotiates each other to provide how much provide the public services and how much collect the money from the residents. But still, the small town cannot provide by themselves. That's the point. Then this is a kind of this is kind of the cooperative situation or regional coordination situation. And so this is just, it must be just a starting point to think about how we help a small village and also the relatively big town or big city, how such a big town can collaborate with a small village. Then so we need more analysis of the incentive to make such kind of collaboration or coordination. And then so before this one, I just mentioned about the consolidation or margining program. In that time, Japanese experience of margining is caused by the central government transfer. But now we need more serious situation among the municipalities. And so how we make incentive to such kind of cooperative situation among municipalities. Okay, last one please. Because time is coming. Okay, summary. Then so I just say, and most of the local sector is characterized by the opportunistic behavior of the local government or local residents as well. And also the vertical transfer always cause inefficient, not efficient situation, cause inefficient. And also why the central government use such kind of transfer? The reason, there are two types of reasons. One is a political and economic reason, the election, or to support it, or buying a body, by the selling the policy. Okay. I give you your money, or I give you the transfer, but instead of that, you can give a ballot. This is I buy ballot, sell the policy. This is a typical political economic thing. Through the lobbying. There is one lobbying activity among each other. This is a typical one. First one cause such kind of an inefficient situation. And another one is, okay, then it is true. It is not true. It is not true. Okay, still the central government has a what say benevolent mind. But still they allow some inefficiency among local sector. Maybe there is another reason, or there is another policy object of central government. For example, I just mentioned about only the efficiency program, but sometimes there are many regional disparities, difference. For example, income difference, or economic difference, or unemployment rate difference. There are many differences between regions. There's a government try to reduce such kind of not efficiency, but inequality or disparities. And so in that sense, the central government doesn't care about the efficiency program, but instead of that, they're much more intended to be more inequality. Then so we need the identification whether the central government wish to efficiency side or inequality side. Then so it is another identification program among the local sector. Then I need final things. We need a more future work to identify another whether how many objects central government can form to the local sector. But at the moment, I and my colleague summarize several work about the efficiency side of things. And if you are interested about such kind of margining or regional coordination, please read my book. And also there are many references. So if you are interested about such kind of program, my book must be a good reference to the future work for you. That's all. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.